this week's episode of Brave in Action. For those of you who are new, welcome. I am a transformational success coach. Well, what the hell does that mean? What that means is that I help you learn to like and trust yourself in this moment as this version of you, because we all know that you're no longer who you used to be and you're not quite who you're going to be. And sometimes that messy middle feels icky. And so my job is to help you get really clear on who you are right now in this moment, what you want to release, what you want to bring forward, what you want to manifest into your future, and to build from a place of this is already good. Because if you don't already know this, if you haven't learned this lesson the hard way, if you're trying to build from a place of lack, from a less than, if you're trying to grow and strengthen yourself from something that didn't work before, you're not going to be able to be successful. So we want to find what is a strong foundation, what's working right now, and then take that and build off of it. When we can learn to like and trust ourselves at this stage with our new knowledge and our new skills and understanding and forgiving ourselves, then we can truly build a life and a business we are madly fucking in love with. It is so nice to see all of you here. I see so many familiar faces and some folks that I haven't ever seen at live show before. Jason, hi. Alan, hello. That is so cool. I love it. Here's Kirsten. I see you here. If you're here, say hi. I want to know you're here. I want to be able to talk directly to you. It's one of my favorite things to do every week. I'm so glad you guys are here today. I have to tell you that this week's Brave in Action live show is brought to you by Amy Rutvik. Amy bought my coffee this week, and I just came from the coffee shop. So thank you, Amy. For those of you who want to support the content that I'm putting out, you can say thanks and buy my coffee or give a little tip by visiting victoryandco.com/say thanks. It means a lot. It just means that you can see the effort, that it's making a difference in your life and connecting with you. And so thank you very much to Amy for buying this week's coffee. I really, really appreciate it. I love today's topic. Do I say that every week? If you're here every week, I might say that every week, probably because I mean it and because I really love my work. My work is game changing. Everything that I share with you all are things that I have experienced and explored myself, things that I have struggled with, learned from, taught myself, gotten certified in. I dig deep, right? It's that line one in human design where I go all the way in. My partner always jokes that she likes to know just a little bit about everything. I don't need to know about everything, but if I want to know about it, I'm diving all the way in. And this topic is a beautiful one. And I had to laugh at the title. I'll give you guys the background story. Are you cursed? Are you cursed? First of all, my 9-year-old is obsessed with magic and witches. And also, all of you badass women out there. Oops. Sorry, folks. Are we still there on Instagram? Sorry. You guys there? Sorry. Somehow my do not disturb got turned off. I apologize. Anyway, all of you badass women out there, I think we're the witches they didn't burn. Quite frankly, those of us out here making crazy, unrealistic dreams come true, building lives in ways that no one ever imagined possible. Fucking hey, we are the witches they did not burn. Anyway, this story came about. So if you have read my book, Fuck Fearless, that's right here for those of you on Instagram who haven't seen it. I talk a lot about my accountability partner, Eddie, who I adore. It's been many years that we have been doing this accountability partner jam together, and it is one of my favorite things in my life. And where that relationship and how that accountability relationship has shifted greatly over the course of the last several years, that community that we have together, that love and support we have together never changes. So we never know what we're going to get when we do our weekly or our monthly accountability call. And I had my chat with Eddie last week, and he was telling me about one of his sons who is really smart, right? So how many of you can identify with this? You are really smart. You are really good at things. So this kid in particular is a little bit of a chess genius. So if you saw the Queen's Gambit, maybe, think like that. He is a really smart kid. And because of COVID, he's really been playing chess online, and he dominates the online chess world. And he's just a little guy. He's younger than my youngest. He is just a little dude, but he dominates. He's got confidence. He's ready to go. He knows how to play. He doesn't second guess himself. He doesn't question himself. Well, now that the world is moving around again, they said, well, let's enroll you in an in-person chess competition. And so they go to do it, and all of a sudden, he's kind of a different kid. He's a different player. So, right, I want you to think about how this applies to your own life. What does this look like in your own life? Where do you know you're fucking kicking ass? Where are you confident? Where do you have it? And then you try to do the same thing in a different environment, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, what? No, that's different, right? So all of a sudden he was second guessing his plays. He was not trusting himself, not advocating for himself, just sort of letting things happen, not fighting for the win, essentially, for something that he knows really well how to do. And they talked about it, and he kind of talked about some limiting voices that showed up, and they were like, oh, well, let's do affirmations. I love this about Eddie. God, I wish when my kids were little, affirmations were a thing that we did. I didn't learn about them until my kids were already past elementary age, and it's really hard to get them to care or to be invested once they're a little bit older. So do this with your little kids, you guys. Affirmations like, oh, limiting voices. Oh, you feel like it's harder when you're in person, or maybe people are better at something than you, and what does that mean for you, right? You could really dig around and explore on that. And then they went to another competition, and he was doing really well. You could tell that the affirmations were working for him until the very, very end. And then he just totally tanked. And my Eddie says to me that he's watching his boy do this, and he can see the moment where everything shifts and where he knows it's all going to fall apart, right? And so they're walking back, and he's like, hey, buddy, what happened? And this little guy, who, like I said, is a little guy, looks up and he says, Daddy, do you really want to know the truth? And Eddie's like, yes, I want to know the truth. And he said, I'm cursed. And Eddie's like, whoa, okay, hold on. Let's talk about that. What does that mean? Who cursed you? Right? Who cursed you? What's happening? And he said, okay, well, maybe it's not a curse, but there's some outside force that just makes it so that I don't play as well in person. There's just some outside force that makes me not do as good a job in person in this different situation where circumstances have shifted. So as he's telling me this story, I have chills up and down my body, right? Because we know, he knows, you know, I know, we know that the outside force is us. We are the outside force, right? We are the ones, because his mind is what had cursed him into believing that he could not do this like this. And so Eddie asks the question that I've asked you guys lots of times, and I really love this question, which is, well, how do you think you're going to play if you believe that you're cursed? If you believe that there's no way you could ever win, how do you think that's going to affect the way you play the game? Versus, how do you think you're going to play the game if you go in and think, well, maybe I'm going to do a great job today. Who knows? I could totally win this. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm flexible. I'm open-minded, right? What is the energy that you bring into it? So we all know beyond a shadow of a doubt that what we believe to be true is true for us, right? Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. You are right. And so this Brave in Action live show isn't about witches and magic, although I am a fan. It is about understanding how we've cursed ourselves. What's the bullshit that we tell ourselves that prevents us from showing up in a creative, unique, approachable, flexible way, open to possibility, willing to try new things, right? Where have you decided in your life and in your business, well, I just can't be any different. It can't be any better. What happens when you show up like that? What are you sacrificing? What opportunities are you passing up on? And what would be different if you chose to say, I'm curious. If I really play my hardest and I don't get in my head, how well can I play this game? Or, hey, Jeanette, how are you? So nice to see you. Or if I decide I don't know what the outcome is going to be from showing up in XYZ space, or for standing up for myself, or setting a boundary, or asking what I want, or journaling, or meditating, or doing EFT tapping, or showing up to Heather's Brave in Action live show. What if I decide That instead of, so many of us go, well, I know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen if I do that. I know what's going to happen with this. I know what's going to happen with that. What if you decide today, maybe you don't fucking know. Maybe you want to approach it with curiosity. So today is Ted Lasso Day. Woo woo. I talk about Ted Lasso all the time. My incubator folks are familiar with this. If you were in any of my programs before, I'm a fan, right? What if you approach it with curiosity instead of judgment? What if you approach it from possibility rather than expectation? What is possible if instead of I already know? If you're open-minded instead of closed-minded, what could be different for you? What would shift for you if you showed up with that little bit of an energy shift? And listen, the answer is fucking anything. That's the answer, but you can be specific. You could go through and write out all of the ways that you think you know the answer. You're stuck, it's steady, it's always going to be this way. And what if you did what I call a 180 turnaround? We talk about that in the book, Fuck Fearless. And instead of knowing this was going to be it, what if you wrote something different? So we're going to use my little buddy and his chess game as an example. I know I'm going to lose in person. The opposite of that is I might win in person, or I don't know that I'm going to lose in person. But I would like to put the positive spin on it. So I know I'm going to lose versus I know I'm going to win, whatever. What is possible if you do that? And then you go, what happens if I explore that? What happens if I show up in this next iteration of my life, of these things that are important to me, that I feel passionate about? What if I show up there and I don't know the answer, but I am willing? This is you. The I I'm talking about is me, and it's you. You are willing to explore, to look for a different result, to try a different approach, to see if there could be some other way instead of the way that you have decided it always has to be. It is game changing and it is powerful. And if you feel cursed, remember that the curse comes from inside of us. We are the ones that limit ourselves when we decide we know exactly how things are going to go. And you have all the power there. You have all the control. You have all the power. And it is so beautiful to know that. It is so empowering to know that. It's also potentially terrifying to know that. Well, why is it terrifying to know that? Because holy fuck, what do we do with all that power, right? What do we do with all that power? Anything you want. You can be an achiever of unrealistic dreams. All you have to do is dream differently, dream openly, not always know the answer, but believe in possibility, new opportunity, change. Does it mean it's always going to feel great? Nope. Sometimes it's going to feel like shit. Sometimes it's going to be hard. And it is hard as a grown-up, as an adult human, to say, fuck, the reason I'm stuck, the reason I'm cursed is because I did this shit. My mind did this. Now, does that mean that no one has ever hurt you? Absolutely not. Does that mean that if you have had traumatic experiences in your life, that it's your fault? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not talking about any trauma. Obviously, those things are real. And if you've experienced those things, my heart, my love, my sympathy, you're a badass and you didn't deserve that, right? We cannot change things that have happened in the past. You only have control over what you choose to do in the future, how you choose to behave, react, respond, initiate. So what do I say? You guys have heard this before. Change what you can change and change your mindset about the things you cannot change. Because you're not cursed. You're not stuck unless you choose to be. And you have all the power here. You really do. All right, how about we pull a Create Brave card? For those of you who are new here, this is a deck of manifestation cards that I created with my amazing friend, Rachel Swanson. Rachel's a creativity coach. I'm the Brave coach. And we combined all of our insights to make these beautiful cards. Rachel did all the artwork. She gets all the artwork credit. I love this Dreamscape card. And it comes with a guidebook that has the focus word, the affirmation, some coaching suggestions, and then also an action. We call it a Create Brave action that you can take. I love the cards. If you like tarot cards, affirmation cards, anything like that, they are so amazing and beautiful. The cards are really well made. Woo, there it went. That's our card, you guys. I always shuffle. I love cards. I love decks. I always shuffle until the card that the universe wants me to have says, "This is me." And that one that just fell, that's it. So here we go. We're going to grab it. What? Empowerment. I'm going to show it to all of you. Empowerment. Ooh, I love this card. This card feels light and springy and full of hope and possibility to me. I show up for myself and my needs. I am in charge. Now, it always baffles me, but it shouldn't. I should stop being amazed. But you know what? Small natural wonders, they amaze me. And I kind of love that about myself. It's one of my favorite things about spring is that I can go out and walk and everything still kind of looks wintering, dead, hibernating. But little bitty crocuses, they pop out. Little bitty green buds, they're starting to pop out, right? Wonder. I never get tired of seeing that. I'm 48 years old and I still love it. It brings me so much joy. This card is the perfect card for today. I show up for myself and my needs, and I am in charge. You are in charge. You can show up for yourself and your needs, and you are in charge. You are not cursed. You have choice. You have free will. You can believe in possibility. You can believe in change. You can show up differently. And I guarantee you, when you show up differently, eventually you will get a different result. I don't just think it'll work. I know it works because I've done it. I've seen it. I've coached people through it. It fucking works. Does it work right away? Maybe, maybe not. But what does work right away is you can feel a shift in yourself. You feel different. And when you feel different, you behave different. And when you behave differently, the people around you behave differently. And whoa, then we really have a snowball effect, right? What? That is some shit right there. That is some incredible, beautiful, powerful shit. So I'm going to read from the guidebook for you, Empowerment. If you want your own deck of Create Brave cards, if you don't already have them, or if you have them, but you want to give them as a gift, I have them. I can send them to you. Go to vickeryandco.com/social. You can see exactly where to go and get your own set of Create Brave cards. I love them so much. And I will even give you a personal note and a little gift. I'll give you a little gift with them. How about that? All right, here's what the coaching guidance says. You are the only one who can empower you. I like to say to folks that this is a gift that you give yourself. Actually, I think that's the next line. This isn't a gift someone else can give you. By showing up for yourself, staying creative, making brave decisions, and not giving up, you empower yourself. Empowerment comes when you decide to be in charge of your own life and the direction you're going rather than waiting for someone else to guide you. Hey, Joel, welcome. There's almost always at least one thing you can do to gain a position of empowerment or have some extra footing in a situation. Perhaps it's a conversation, a request, or an action. Stand firm and know that your voice matters. But more importantly, that you are worth fighting for. You are extraordinary, and that is something to be celebrated. Know what you need and relish the joy when you take action to receive it. I'm just going to read that line again because I love it so much. Know what you need and relish the joy when you take action to receive it. So here's the Create Brave prompt. I invite you to do it. So when you think about this card, what is this card here telling you today? What is it showing you? What shows up? You know, right? You can pop in the chat. You can send me a DM. When you hear that, when you see that card, what shows up for you? What do you know in your brain? Like, oh, this is what that card is telling me. Share it. I love to hear it. Here's your Create Brave prompt. Stand in a power pose for 2 minutes. So either with your hands up over your head, we're too far away to do this now, like the Superman, right? Your legs are hip width apart. Superman. No, that's Wonder Woman. Superman. This one's Superman, right? Yeah. Or with your hands on your hips, which is your Wonder Woman pose, right? And set a timer for 2 minutes. When the timer's done, think about areas in your life where you feel you have no say or things are out of your control. Identify at least one thing that you can do to gain a little more empowerment. So here's the cool science behind those power poses. I particularly like hands on the hip. Set a timer 2 minutes. There's really cool science behind it. It shows that you rewire your brain. You actually rewire your brain when you do that. It lets off chemicals, it shifts things, it builds up your confidence chemically. which is fucking cool. So before you're going to go and play chess in person and you don't think that you can win because you're cursed, do that power pose and then go in and go, anything is possible. Or this lovely affirmation, everything always works out for me. Everything always fucking works out. It always works out. I love that one. I chant it all the time. It brings me joy because even though something feels awful and icky in the moment, it is taking you somewhere better. We have to go through shit sometimes to have a beautiful garden. Thank you guys so much for being here with me. I appreciate it. If you want to say thanks, if you like it, if you want to be the coffee buyer for the coming week, I would be eternally grateful. You can say thanks by visiting vickeryandco.com/say thanks. Grab your Create Brave deck, any of my books or journals at vickeryandco.com/social. And be sure to join us next week, Tuesday, 1:30 p.m. Central, for the next episode of Brave in Action. It is my pleasure and my joy to be here with you. Until we get a chance to talk again, this is Heather Vickery reminding you today and every single day to go out and choose bravely. Bye now.